So let's start with Group A, U.S., just your first reaction to that draw. USA, Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia.
Yeah, obviously you wanted to avoid a team like Uruguay, a very strong team. And it really would have all depended on the scheduling of this. If you could face a team like a Bolivia or a Panama in the earlier rounds, it would facilitate that road of a potential showdown in Kansas City against Uruguay. And then, you know, you're playing for all or nothing literally there. Uruguay's a very difficult team. Uruguay's a very good team. But there's a surprise team. I wouldn't even say surprise because they're one of the all-time winningest teams in the Copa America. But if there's a surprise team today in CONMEBOL, it's Marcelo Bielsa's Uruguay, and the way they play, the way they press, the way, the type of players that they have, at the speed at which they play, it's a very dangerous team for the U.S. men's national team to play against. We saw what a Uruguay team under Diego Alonso did to the U.S. before the World Cup on U.S. soil. You can only imagine what a motivated Marcelo Bielsa team can have in store for the U.S.
So I'm looking at Pot 2, right? U.S. obviously as one of the hosts, they're in Pot 1. So your biggest concern is going to be which team you're going to get out of Pot 2. Uruguay and Colombia were the ones that I think you fear the most, right? Then to me, it's a pretty significant drop to Ecuador and Peru. You got Uruguay. You got the toughest team out of Pot 2 if you're the United States. That's not good news, right? Because that means the pathway to the top spot in your group is much more difficult now than it could have been.
Yeah, looking at the groups, I don't think there's another top 15 showdown like that, if you will. It's 11 in the FIFA rankings versus number 12 in the FIFA rankings. It's a very difficult test for them. You know, things we just highlighted, the players that they have, the player pool, the style of play.
Will the U.S. be favorites at home?
No, by no means. Against Uruguay? No.
Really?
But Uruguay's one of the favorites in this tournament. I've got no doubt about that. You've got one of the favorites in the tournament who, by the way, just beat the World Cup champion Argentina with Lionel Messi in Argentina. In Argentina. By no means will it be an easy test. I think it might be the stiffest test they've had to date with Greg Berhalter.
Yeah. The schedule is kind of critical here. How big is it that you get Uruguay in that last game? Because if you think about it, Panama, we know they're tough, but you're definitely at home going to be a significant favorite. Bolivia, I think you got to be an overwhelming favorite. They're the one CONMEBOL team out of Pot 4. So if you pick up, if you do your job in those first two games, which is 6 points,
you absolutely have to win that first game, put you in position to.
That first game is going to be Bolivia and Arlington. That is, if we're looking at it and
you can't have any surprises. It's one of those games. You have to absolutely win. And I know everybody's looking past you. You have to win Panama, but you can't have a situation where you start slow and you don't get the result you need against Bolivia.
Yeah.
That throws everything, you know, out the window.
Yeah, and I think if you look at it from the U.S. perspective and you say, well, we wanted to avoid Uruguay out of Pot 2. I really, truly believe, because there's something about, first of all, Pot 4 is mostly CONCACAF, and there's something about facing a familiar rival that worries me. On top of that, I do believe that
worries you.
Yeah, right? I mean, if you're the U.S. and you get a Canada,
say, I know where you're going with this.
You'd be worried. If you,
I know where you're going with this. This happened in 2002. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Exactly.
No, and that's
exactly. Mexico in 2002. You're talking about the round of 16 in the World Cup. Mexico wanted the second place team out of the group. Because they won the group. They just didn't want it to be the U.S.
Well, I think they did want it to be the U.S. And the U.S. wanted it to be Mexico. It's one of those things. You know each other very well. Strengths and weaknesses. If I'm a CONCACAF nation, I most want to avoid that CONCACAF nation, the high CONCACAF nation, because they know you so well.
And you love, I think, that you're starting with the weakest of the three teams. You're starting with Bolivia and Arlington, which, to your point, puts a lot of pressure on that game.
Yeah.
But there's not a better way to start a home tournament than a game where you're going to be a massive favorite and very likely to get those 3 points.
If Greg Berhalter had to face Uruguay, he would want to face them in this situation. If you had to face them in the group phase, you want to face them in the third game. You'd want a team like Bolivia that you can get your confidence with, get the 3 points, and then play for that, if you will, showdown spot against Panama, who's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And under Christensen's team is really shown resolve. They've shown tactical
How big a worry
progress
is that,
that they've not.
Because I think we're checking Bolivia off as 3. Uruguay is the wild card, and maybe you don't win it, but you could still come in second.
Correct.
Then that Panama game becomes the must-win.
There's
right?
no
nation. Points even.
There's no nation that's grown in the past World Cup cycle like Panama. I mean, you expected with this player pool, the U.S. men's national team, to have that growth, regardless of how young they were. You expected there to be some growth. You didn't expect this out of Panama. They had their golden generation in 2018, and all those players were phased out 2019, 20, 21. And you really saw a generational shift that didn't look too pretty. In comes Christensen, and he really changed that program, really changed that player pool, and you're starting to see the fruits of all that. They could have axed him in 2018 or 2022, excuse me, after they didn't make it to the World Cup in Qatar. They didn't. They stayed with the program. They stayed with that project, and it's really bearing fruit today, and you see it in their play. That said, you don't want to face a team that's growing like that. You saw what they've been doing. You see their play. You see the players that they have. It's a dangerous team, no doubt.
So when you tell me that you don't think the United States will be favored against Uruguay and Kansas City in that third match, am I right to assume then you don't think the U.S. are the favorites to win this group? You think the U.S. will go through a second right now, looking at it on paper?
On paper, absolutely. Second place. On paper. I don't care if they are at home. The U.S. isn't the home team in this tournament. They won't be the home team for a lot of games they play in this tournament.
Really?
That's a reality. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They play Mexico. They're not the home team.
Okay.
They play Colombia. They're not a home team. They play Brazil. They're not a home team.
Argentina, they definitely won't be.
They won't be a home team. No. That's a reality for the U.S. U.S. men's national team playing in the U.S.
I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure. I think Argentina, yes. I think Mexico, yes. Brazil, you don't think there'd be a pro-U.S. crowd?
Brazil's one of the top 3 most followed teams on earth.
But the U.S. is at home. All right, so the second place team, which you think will be the U.S. out of this group, then really has to worry about who you're going to get in the next round, right? So the U.S. will face one team out of Group D. That's Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, and Jamaica. If you're telling me that the U.S. is going to be second, then you know who they're going to be playing in the quarterfinals.
I don't.
It's Brazil.
No, I don't.
Where they're going to be away from home, according to you.
This Brazilian team is struggling
Come
right
on,
now.
Brazil's an overwhelming favorite in that group. They're not?
I don't think so. I don't think this Brazil. We just saw Colombia beat them. Luis Diaz scored 2 goals, and then they beat them. Listen, anything can happen on neutral site for them, even though they have a strong following. This isn't the same Brazil team that we've seen, the same Brazil of the past. A lot of their stars, a lot of injured players. Who knows who will be available? Who knows who the coaching situation will be for Brazil? Will it be an Ancelotti type like that? Who knows? That could change a lot of things. But today, I don't think they're the overwhelming favorites in that group.
So Brazil could be a potential quarterfinal matchup. Colombia could be a potential quarterfinal matchup. Do you see Paraguay or Jamaica pushing for one of those spots that the U.S. might find themselves playing in the quarterfinals?
I've wanted to put my trust in Jamaica a couple times. I did it in Gold Cup. I said they would win Gold Cup, and because that player pool, because I think it's an expanding player pool. They've got interesting players. Leon Bailey's in a ridiculous moment right now with Aston Villa. We just saw what he did against Man City. Mikel Antonio, pre-injury, was picking up
and it's
steam.
not as big of an injury concern. It's a short-term.
Damari Gray is really taken to that team. They're a much better team that they've even shown at the Gold Cup, but I don't know how to trust them in this group. I don't know how to put stock into them in this group because you look on paper and Brazil and Colombia are overwhelming favorites to go 1 and 2 either way.
Are you, from a preference standpoint, you'd rather play Colombia than Brazil? I thought that would have been maybe a few months ago, because I know Brazil's in a bad moment right now, but that would have been a very easy answer.
A few months ago, it would have been a very easy answer. No Neymar. With the player pool today, the injuries today, who knows? That could change come summertime. But today, I would rather play Brazil than Colombia.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You would still not see the U.S. as favorites against Brazil, correct?
Brazil today?
Really, dude? Really?
Well, I'm just thinking about the player pool. Yeah, and listen, this isn't the same Brazil team as of old.
Okay.
You look at the 11. You look what they put out. You look what they played against Uruguay. They got beat against Uruguay. They played against Argentina in Brazil. Got beat against Argentina in Brazil. It's Colombia right before that. It's a team that is struggling. Listen, form will be relative, right? This can change in 6 months. But if we are to say the U.S. men's national team to play Brazil today, I think they've got just as good a chance of beating them as anybody else.
What about Colombia? Would you see the U.S. as favorites in a quarterfinal over Colombia?
I like Colombia's player pool. I thought Colombia was very, very unlucky not to make the World Cup in Qatar. They went 7 games without a goal. Do you really see that happening again with this Colombian player pool? I don't.
So does the draw then change your expectations for the U.S.? Because we've talked about it in other shows before we saw the draw, and I think you were pretty clear that semifinal is that line.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be playing Brazil or Colombia in a quarterfinal.
Correct.
Now, are we asking a lot to be in a semifinal?
I don't know, and the reason I say that
expectations?
no, it doesn't.
Lower them?
It doesn't lower the expectations. when you think about 2016, the last reference point we had of a Copa America, which was also on U.S. soil, by the way, the U.S. men's national team made it to a semifinal appearance against Argentina, bowed out to Argentina, Leo Messi's Argentina. You remember, if you saw that game, you will remember his free kick against Brad Guzan. You know, you will remember that performance. You will remember the 4th place finish. That U.S. men's national team is also the same U.S. men's national team that failed to qualify for Russia. I think we're all under the assumption or agreement that this U.S. men's national team is better than that U.S. men's national team.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that should be the bar. And also, at home, a dry run, if we expect the bar for the golden generation of U.S. soccer and the U.S. men's national team, the men's side, semifinal appearance at home in a 2026 World Cup, well, you don't have European opposition in this tournament. So, yes, absolutely, it should be that semifinal appearance. It should be that run. And if it's a Brazil or if it's a Colombia that you got to get through to get there, that's what you have to do, because World Cup time, it may be a European team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked about it with this program. The next step is winning knockout games against elite competition. They played well at the World Cup, but when it got to that level, they failed pretty spectacularly against the Netherlands, right? This will potentially, if they get through the group, they will get a great matchup. I mean, if you're thinking Brazil or Colombia, that's a great knockout round test.
And isn't that what you want? Isn't that what you want? If this is a dry run for the World Cup, is that not what you want? You want to play in the second round or knockout rounds quality opponents, because this is who you're going to face come the knockout rounds at the World Cup.
Okay, so losing a quarterfinal to Brazil, then you're saying could have some value. But also, if you get a great run to a final, that could boost you in 2026.
Absolutely. Listen, the value is in the eye of the beholder. Right. If it's just a run for a run, but you got lucky or scraped by, or if it's a run to a Brazilian team that ended up winning it, and you played them in a spectacular fashion and got something out of it, even though I don't believe in moral victories for this U.S. men's national team, yeah,